we go. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, guys? I started this off with yo, yo, yo because the last time that I did that, Craig in marketing thought it was horrible and ridiculous that I did that. So we're going to do that every single episode so that he knows exactly what this podcast is about, which is about fun. It's about yo and yo-yoing. It's a great podcast. Anyway, guys, happy to have you here. Witt Live, episode 5. We rhymed today. We've been doing this for a month now. An entire month I've been doing my podcast. It's been going extremely well, and that's all thanks to you guys, for you guys tuning in and watching it every week, every Wednesday, for you guys going and sharing it with your friends and leaving comments. I do really, really appreciate it. And if you guys enjoy what you're hearing or watching, you can go onto the Apple Podcast. Witt Live is on there if you search it, and you can give it 5 stars. You can even leave it a rave review. I go through and I read those reviews, so if you want to make me happy, give me a big smile on my face, I would love it if you went onto the podcast app for Apple and went and rated 5 stars. You can also subscribe to it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and it premieres here though on video every Wednesday, 4 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. But anyway, guys, Taylor is here again today. Taylor, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone.
Taylor did a tweet today on the PragerU account that I wanted to pull up. He was very proud of it. And Taylor, working with me, doesn't have a lot of chances to be proud. So we're going to look at this tweet that Taylor said. It was actually really good. I actually really liked it. He's tweeting it from the PragerU account. He said it was to the New York Times, a response to the New York Times, our favorite people over there. Said in 1851, New York Times founding editor Henry Jarvis Raymond published an editorial in which he supported a slave owner's legal right to recover his escaped slaves. Will you guys also be canceling yourselves? Taylor, what was going through your head when you made that tweet?
Well, we just saw that they came out with this big thing about they're going after Mount Rushmore now, and it's just this cancel culture is getting so out of control, and this isn't about us actually believing that the New York Times needs to be canceled, but it's just to highlight the ridiculousness of how selective they are about the outrage. And anyway,
everything is canceled. I still got my bottle of Aunt Jemima from last time. What I want to do, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna empty the syrup out, drink it. Taylor's gonna help me drink it, and then we're gonna fill it with water, so I can use it like a water bottle. It'll be like a prop that we have on the show every single week. So looking forward to that. I did want to say thank you. I don't want to put your name out there, but Taylor, I didn't show you this yet either. We got watermelon Sour Patch.
Ooh.
So we got them sent to me. I won't say your name, but your daughter is very nice, whoever you are. Thank you so much for sending those.
Very sweet of you.
Very
Literally.
sweet. We love watermelon Sour Patch Kids. Okay, let's get into this today. Today we're talking about why America is the greatest country on earth. We're talking about Ken and Karen, and we're talking about my offensive TikTok that I made. And I wanted to start by talking about the TikTok that I made. So let's get into that, okay? It's a really funny TikTok, okay? I know a lot of you guys you don't like TikToks. I said this the last time. You guys don't like TikTok because it's spying on you in Chinese. I don't know. I don't really care too much, you know? I don't understand what they're going to take from me that they can't already find online. So maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm really dumb for trusting TikTok. But, anyway. Okay, so I made this TikTok, Wedding Vows in 2020. And this was, Taylor helped write this too. So give him
I'm
some.
just killing it lately.
Yeah, Taylor is killing it. Give him some due credit. We're going to talk about the Carol Swain video in a sec. But this is the TikTok that I made. I do. I just remember when I met you at that protest and you saw those cops and you ran up to them and said, "Kill the police!" And you looked so beautiful that day. Baby, I'll never forget the moment when you put that brick in my hand and said, "Bash the fash," and I chucked it through the window of a Popeye's chicken. That's when I knew I loved you. Baby, I promise to devote myself to you fully, as long as you don't have any past insensitive tweets, racist Halloween costumes, or had any slave-owning ancestors. I promise to dismantle the nuclear family with you and have our children be free from gender norms and the harsh shackles of biological reality. Well, with that being said, I now pronounce you they and it. You may now kiss the person. Yeah, so I posted that on TikTok, and people have been getting very mad at me, which is okay. I don't mind people getting mad at me, but it's just funny. They were getting very offended, saying that I shouldn't joke about those kind of things. They said it was offensive to joke. I was joking about marginalized people, about trans people. I was hurting their feelings. I was oppressing people by making this thing. And it's like, it was a joke. It's a joke, obviously. I mean, do you go on social media? Any of you, I'll give you a challenge if you want a challenge. Go on social media and see just the amount of jokes, things that are said about conservatives and Republicans. There's millions and millions of things on there every single day. The left wants to shame you, though. I'm sure there are conservatives who, say they stand for free speech, but they actually don't. They go on and they shame leftists for making jokes about them. I'm sure there are. But I don't see lots of conservatives going online and finding leftists who make jokes and saying, and trying to shame them, for making a joke about something or making light of something that's going on. It seems to be only a leftist thing. If you don't agree with the left, they try and shame you. They say that their values are totally morally superior, and they don't want anyone else to have a difference of opinion. So anyway, that was just that TikTok that I made. I hope you guys thought it was funny. I thought it was pretty funny. Taylor wrote it, so if you don't think it's funny, blame him. If you do think it's funny, I wrote it. So you guys can choose what you think. I want to talk about this Carol Swain interview that I did. It just came out today. This interview I did with Carol Swain. If you guys know who Carol Swain is, she is or was a professor at Vanderbilt, a professor at Princeton University. She has the best accent in the whole world, Virginia accent. I love her. She's so sweet and nice. And we did a whole thing talking about Black Lives Matter and race issues and the history of this country. I mean, this woman is absolutely incredibly smart and a true treasure. But anyway, I want to talk about my outfit in the thing. Okay, you guys see, if you're watching, people who are listening to this afterwards won't be able to see, but you can go and watch the interview afterwards, and you'll be able to know what I'm saying. But if you're watching now, you can see the jeans that I'm wearing, okay? Look at those holes in those jeans. You think I would ever wear something like that? You can't see it in this picture, but I'm wearing Taylor's shoes, okay? I was at the beach that day. You guys are thinking, oh, he's not working. I was filming a video at the beach. I had swim trunks on. I had a hat on. I had, flip-flops, and then I get a call, and they're like, we want you to come do this interview. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in the best spot to do it. And so I had to come in. I went to Urban Outfitters, and I bought these jeans for $5.
In the girls section.
In the girls section. No, not in the girls section. But they look like girls' jeans. They fit me so tight. My butt looked really good because they fit me so tight, but they hurt. But yeah, I'm wearing these this ridiculous outfit, and my hair just looks absolutely crazy in this interview. But regardless of that and some of the audio issues that I know some of you guys watching this were talking about, the video is already going massively viral. I mean, what, Taylor, like 13,000 shares so far?
It's big. I don't have it in front of me, but it was a lot.
Yes, something like 13,000 shares. If you guys have not seen this interview, go watch this interview. Don't watch it for me. Watch it for Carol. She is fantastic and really, really smart.
I'll drop the link in the comments right now.
Yeah, Taylor's going to put the link in. Don't watch it now. You can watch it after you finish watching me talk on my podcast. But definitely, Carol Swain is a truly remarkable person. Okay, let's talk about California. Okay, I think I can. Can I move this picture? It's not really working too well. Can you guys see this picture that I have on here? You guys can see I have a lot of stuff on my screen right now, a lot of different stuff. We've had one lockdown, yes, but what about second lockdown? In California today, Governor Gavin Newsom is now extending the lockdown on restaurants and bars for at least another 3 weeks. So now all the people who finally were able to open their restaurants in California have to close them down again. The same people with bars, the people who had their restaurants broken into and ransacked and looted from, who are just trying to get back on their feet and open up again, now have to close down again. Okay, and I wanted to start off this podcast going through my monologue talking about, why America is great, but I can't. This just made me so angry when I got this information. It made me genuinely really upset because California is the place that I live. You guys know I live here in Hollywood, California. So to not be able to go out and see all these people struggling in my state is truly a horrible, sad thing. And if this virus was as deadly as the mainstream media says it was, I would be all for closing down and people need to stay at home and lock themselves in, okay? Stay self-quarantining, social distance, whatever it might be. But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. Cases are going up, yes, but of course cases are going up. People were stuck at home for 2-3 months in a lot of states, and then they come outside. Oh, you think the virus is just going to go away? This is what I don't understand. These leftists and people on Twitter that I see, they expected the virus to just be gone. Like that once we lock down the country, that the virus is just going to go away. That's not how it works. The virus is still there. People are going to get cases, but as we're seeing right now, people aren't dying from the virus, okay? There are, of course, some people who are dying, but I mean the sense of a large majority of people, lots of people aren't dying. I think the death rate for this virus is at about 0.4. It's at about 0.4%. For influenza, it's about 0.2%. So it's not the difference between the two is not that big, but we're doing so much stuff for coronavirus versus what we do for the normal flu, And if you go to the CDC website, I challenge any of you who disagree with me on this and say, no, we need to lock up or people should be, social distancing. Go to the CDC website right now and go and look at the stats about how many young people are dying. If you're below the age of 40, how many people are dying? I mean, if you go between the ages of 0 and 18, how many people are dying? I mean, the number is too small to even quantify. There are too many zeros after the decimal of how many people are dying when they get the virus, the percentage. So it's just really frustrating to see that our government here in California is shutting us down again for what really seems like no reason whatsoever. So it makes me really mad. And I was just going to go out to lunch to eat today, and then I couldn't go out to lunch to eat. It was horrible. You know how terrible it is? That sounds like a total first world problem thing. But it actually is horrible. I was pretty upset by it. So
We're triggered.
We're triggered. Well, not literally, because Gavin Newsom takes away our guns, so we're not triggered. But you know what I mean. It's a really upsetting situation. And this whole thing, I'm worried about. Are you laughing, Taylor? Something funny?
Comment.
Oh, comment? Oh, you can't say it. Oh, Taylor, the dirty comments make Taylor laugh. He's like a 12-year-old boy. But the schools, I'm worried about what's going to happen in the fall with the schools, that they're going to say that we shouldn't reopen them. And I really do. I think we should. And I think that we should reopen them without the children wearing masks. I was just talking to Dr. Jeff Barkey today. If you guys know who he is, he's a fantastic doctor in Orange County, RX for Liberty on his social media, who's been talking about all this. And, I mean, open up the schools. Open up the schools. You don't have to do the social distancing. The studies show that, everyone's worried a little kid is going to get it at their school and then they're going to go and give it to grandma and they're going to die. There is no actual real evidence to show that little kids are these crop dusters of the virus and are just giving it to old people and killing them. There's no data to show that that's actually what's happening. Again, look at the facts. Go to the CDC website and look at this. It is right there for you to see. Go look at the facts about this virus. Of course, the virus is real. People are dying, but we cannot lock down this country again. We cannot lock down this country again. Okay. Sorry. I want to watch this video that's been going viral on Twitter of these girls who are talking about 4th of July. Today we're going to be talking about, 4th. I got my little flag shirt on. I got this from this shirt from a very special person. It says LSU on the back. Did I show you that, Taylor? It says
Yes,
LSU
you
on the
did.
back.
Go Tigers.
Yeah. Taylor graduated from LSU.
World champs.
World champs, baby. Go Tigers. I met Mike the Tiger when I spoke at LSU. I spoke at LSU, which is really cool. Anyway, got my patriotic flag on. And these girls are not very patriotic at all. But we're here today talking about patriotism in 2020.
During Pride Month for many obvious reasons. And America sucks right now. And
Yeah.
honestly, if you support it and choose to wear red, white, and blue
You're
and
supporting
be patriotic,
Trump, racism, literally
you're
everything.
supporting all of that, and it's disgusting, and you shouldn't. So don't wear red, white, and blue on 4th of July.
Wear
rainbow.
Yes,
For
we want everyone to wear it. We don't want to see red, white, and blue posts. Like,
Yes.
I don't want to see those Independence Day captions. I don't fucking know.
caption your
No.
posts. Hashtag all countries matter on 4th of July.
Yes.
I want to see
Rainbow flags on
seeing
cheeks.
everyone wearing
Yes.
Rainbow
rainbows and
sparkles.
captions with hashtag all countries matter. That's what I want to see.
And spark.
All countries matter.
During Pride Month
Wait, let me-
for many
All countries matter, guys. If you don't support North Korea, you're a bigot. You should support North Korea and all the terrible dictatorships around the world. But is that not just insane? It's funny that they say if you support the 4th of July, okay, you support the 4th of July, you wear red, white, and blue, you support Trump, you support Republicans. That's not what the 4th of July is about. The 4th of July, is really it's the antithesis of supporting your government, really. It's supporting the founding fathers and the Declaration of Independence seceding from a different government. It's not about supporting your federal government at all, or your executive branch in your city or your state. It's about supporting patriotism. It's about being proud of what this country was founded on, okay? And this country was founded on freedom. I know I bagged on America last week when I was talking about, things to be proud of, and there's not a whole lot of things that I'm really proud of right now in America, but that doesn't mean that we can't look at how this country was founded and say that it is still the greatest country. And even if things are going wrong in America, I'd still rather live in America, of course, than anywhere else by a long shot. I can't even think of anywhere else. There's they say all these other countries matter, but look at these other countries. They obviously are talking about, other countries are better than America. What other country is better than America? You look at freedom in these other countries, and no country has freedom like America has freedom. They say, you have the right to speak whatever you want in any other country. Oh, really? Look at social media in the UK, how the police are going on Facebook and banning people, and how it's going there. Look at... excuse me. Look at Canada's free speech laws. Look at all these different places. To think that these other countries have free speech like America has free speech is just absolutely ridiculous. They don't. Look at France. Look at Spain. Look at Italy. Look at any of these places that people will say, they're just as free as America. They're not. They're not as free as America. And don't even get started on the Second Amendment. You think any of these places have gun rights like we have? Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. And these things, these gun rights, they ban these guns in these countries, and it obviously doesn't help. Look at what happened in the UK. Knife crime is totally up. Hot burglaries are up. Acid attacks are up. This is what's happening in the UK right now. So it's just there is no place like America. And the reason why that is because of how these founders made this country, okay? Unalienable, God-given rights. That is the most important thing, okay, when thinking of America. I urge you that if you're looking at another country and you're trying to compare it to America, ask yourself and look at their documents and say, were they founded on the same principles that America was founded on? That every single person, every man was created equal by his creator with unalienable rights. That's why America was founded. That's how America was founded as the most important thing. It's what sets America apart from every single other country in the world. It's what makes America great. Now, of course, there are a lot of things that aren't great in America right now, of course, and there are things that other countries are beating us in, things that we can obviously do better in. things we can obviously do better in. But when it comes down to freedom and people being able to choose their own lives and be able to have the ability to speak their minds and do what they would like, there's no better place than America. There's no better place than America. And so I wanted to go through, I thought this would be fun. I thought it would be fun if we did a history of America in like 5 or 10 minutes. So Taylor and I have gone through, and we're kind of going to, I guess I'm going to, and Taylor's going to listen. I have taken the liberty of finding kind of the best moments of American history and kind of rapid fire going through them. Because we're going to start with this 4th of July video that I did. If you guys have seen this, I did this a while ago. But we're going to go through this, and then we can go through the American history so you guys understand why I would even do this. Okay? So we're gonna react to this video right now. What's up, guys? This is Witt from PragerU today. Can we just take a moment to look at my massive biceps? Just gotta say, I'm looking pretty swole in this vid. We're on Santa Monica Beach, and we're going to be asking people some questions for the 4th of July. Why do we celebrate the 4th of July?
I don't really know.
Why do we celebrate the 4th of July?
Celebrate the independence of our nation.
Our independence.
It's our Independence Day.
Independence Day.
For the independence of America.
Why is the year? So we got a few people who didn't know, which is scary. You know, it's like those girls in that video that we were just looking at before, where, you know, they're talking about 4th of July as if they know something. They don't even understand the history of how this country was founded. 1776 significant.
The U.S. 1776? I have no idea.
Oh. What's the significance of 1776?
Is that when Columbus sailed the ocean blue?
I love that line. When I made this video the first time, everyone in the office was just memeing that line all the time. It's so funny. What is the significance of 1776?
I don't know.
What's the significance of 1776?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a year.
Yeah, I figure.
Why do we celebrate the 4th of July?
I forgot.
What is the year 1776 about?
About the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
What's the significance of 1776?
Yeah, that one I don't know. Not a history person.
I can tell. What's the significance of I can tell. I can tell. Sorry, I had to clown on her real quick. 1776.
Christopher Columbus.
Why is the year 1776 significant?
Oh, it's the Civil War.
Close.
Or the end of it. Or the end of slavery. 1776, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's why they say it, because it rhymes.
Oh.
1776, Columbus sailed the ocean blue because it rhymes.
6 and blue.
6
do not
and
rhyme.
blue. No, they don't. No. But I'm showing you guys this video. If you guys want to see more stuff, you can always go to PragerU.com. But I'm showing you guys that video, so just so you have a grasp, okay? That when I make the argument, or these other influencers or conservative people or whoever makes the argument and says people aren't being taught history and the left is indoctrinating people in universities and in elementary and high school, middle school, like we say these kind of things, we're not just straw manning this stuff up, okay? We're not just making this up to push an agenda. At least I'm not. I can speak for myself. Because I go out there on the streets and I talk to these people and I ask them these questions, and these people don't know. They don't know the answers to why we celebrate the 4th of July. What is important about 1776? And you guys, if you've been following me for a while, I mean, you've seen I've done lots of trivia things about different holidays and all sorts of, things about American history. These people really don't know. They have no idea why this country is the way that it is. And it's a really scary thing because, of course, people are going to go out right now in the streets, riot and loot, if they have no idea why America is, if they have no idea why America was founded or what it was founded on, then they don't care about this country. They think it's a horrible place. But if they learned history, then they would know why America is such a great country, why it's the greatest country. They would feel less inclined, I would believe, to go and just try and destroy their own country. But when you don't know history, then of course you're going to go out there and try and destroy the country that you were raised in. And the media and the universities in Hollywood, I mean, they're telling people how horrible America is, how terrible of a place it is to live. How does that make a young person feel? Of course they want to go and destroy this country. All they ever hear is how horrible it is. So yeah, it's a terrible thing. And we're going to go through some American history right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. Starting in 1585. Now, I consider myself someone who enjoys history. I've always been more of a European history type of guy. I've always found that very interesting. The plague, and we have to rename it the plague, not the Black Plague, because that's racist.
Right.
But and Napoleon and the medieval times, the Dark Ages, all that kind of stuff. I find that stuff really, really interesting. Not that I love American history too, but I've focused on European history. But anyway, just saying, so if I get anything wrong, which I won't, but if I do, feel free to blast me in the comments. 1585, Roanoke, the first English colonist come to North America. Or not North America, but, what would be America. 1607, Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement. And then the Pilgrims come to Plymouth Rock in 1620 on the Mayflower, which was another video that I did asking people about the boats. We're going to skip ahead about 150 years. 1773, the Boston Tea Party happens. So the American people are basically pretty upset that Great Britain is taxing them so much for this tea, and so they take the tea and they dump it in the river or the lake, whatever body of water that it is. They dump it in there to protest basically what Great Britain is doing. And then in 1776, going back to what we were just talking about before, the Declaration of Independence is signed. Okay, the 13 colonies on July 4th want to be sovereign from British rule. They signed the Declaration of Independence. A very important day for all of us Americans out there. We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for the Founding Fathers being so brave and this document. 1787, the Constitution is signed. Inside the Constitution is a lot of stuff about, the powers of the government. Also has the Bill of Rights within it, which is another very important thing that I don't think many of those people in that video, or many young people at all, have ever read. I used to work back in Colorado. When I was there, I used to work with this company. It was a nonprofit. They're great people. I can't actually remember what it's called at this point, but we would go to elementary schools and we would do Constitution training with the young people. And so I helped them out on some stuff with that. I didn't work with them for very long, but they were a great company. And, it's like these students that were getting these constitutions and didn't even know what the Constitution was. They didn't even know America had a constitution. So yeah, this stuff definitely isn't being taught. And the Bill of Rights are a very important thing for people to read. 1794, the Whiskey Rebellion. Federal government were putting taxes on whiskey, and people weren't happy about it. But the federal government actually handled it pretty well, which is a good thing. And this was kind of the first time when America was, becoming a real country, that people were upset about the taxes and things, the federal government overreaching on them. Or, one of the most significant major events of people getting really upset about the federal government. 1803, we have the Louisiana Purchase. Thomas Jefferson bought some land, just made America even bigger, which is a great thing. 1812, we get the War of 1812. You guys know about that war. We didn't win the war, which is okay. Everybody gets one. You can't win them all. But then America went into a good era after this called the Era of Good Feelings. So, man, I feel like I'm in AP U.S. history right now, going through these things. In 1823, we had the Monroe Doctrine, which basically opposed European imperialism in North and South America. 1848, Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, peace with Mexico after the war. There was a Mexican-American War, and this was basically saying, we want peace with Mexico at this point. And then we actually got some more land off of that too. And one of those things that we got was California. California came, and California eventually became a very, very wealthy state. Lots of people immigrated to California. It's a great place to be back in the day. Not so much anymore. But yeah, that's how California came to be. In the 1860s, we obviously have the Civil War, the American Civil War. Very, very bloody conflict between the North and the South. At the end, the slaves were emancipated in America, which is an amazing thing to happen. I'm kind of going through things that I chose a lot of the things to talk about. And I chose to talk about a lot of the things, not just because they're big events, it's significant, but I wanted to talk about them just because of, how far America has come in 300 years, really? In about 300 or more or less years, how far America has come. I wanted to bring up things that were important like that. We had the Civil War. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln gets shot, and Abraham Lincoln, the one to free the slaves. You now have young people trying to get Abraham Lincoln statues destroyed or taken down. It's like, this is the person who you should be heralding as someone who's a hero of this country, and you're trying to tear down the Abraham Lincoln statues. We had Plessy versus Ferguson in 1896, a monumental Supreme Court decision, which basically said separate but equal, if you guys have heard that before, which basically gave states the right to segregate based on race. So it wasn't a very good Supreme Court hearing and very racist. But I bring that up again to show that America, since that, has come a very long way. It's come a very long way. 1914, we had World War I. America joined in to stop the bad people. The bad people is in Germany and the others. Ended in 1917. 1929, we had the Great Depression, stock market crash. And 1933, we had the New Deal. And I want to talk about the New Deal real quick, okay? Because there's a lot of confusion about it. And I think this one is pretty relevant to what we're facing right now in America when it comes to massive government overreach. I mean, look at our national debt. It is trillions and trillions of dollars, okay? The New Deal did not get us out of the Great Depression. Okay, I repeat, the New Deal did not get us out of the Great Depression. World War II, entering World War II, the manufacturing that came out of World War II, that's what got us out of the Great Depression. Okay, look at what happened with the New Deal. Okay, FDR was the income tax became 79% between 1930 and 1940. Then you had the Social Security payroll tax. You had liquor taxes, capital stock tax. I mean, all these different taxes put on people. Who is going to invest in the American economy then when you have all these taxes on high earners and people living in this country? I mean, and all the government programs and the amount of money all these things cost. The New Deal in almost no way actually helped us get through the Great Depression. In a lot of ways, the New Deal actually made us work. They made a lot of jobs within America public jobs instead of private. Okay? So these things that could have been done very efficiently, gotten done very quickly and more cheaply, were now getting done by the government. And I mean, you know how the government does anything. They screw it all up. And this is kind of I would say, the real beginning of modern American federal government, of the modern America federal government, with the New Deal in 1933, massive government overreach, and there's been no stop to it. You know, there's been absolutely no stop to it. People say they're going to drain the swamp. I don't see the swamp getting drained. The federal government is far too big, way too big right now. Anyway, World War II happens, 1941. America enters the war after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. We go to Europe and we go to Japan. We fight on both fronts. And I wanted to talk about this too because one of the other arguments that I get is that American military, we need to defund our military. I mean, that's not the prevalent thing right now. It's defund the police. But people have, for a long time, been saying, you know, the military-industrial complex, we got to get rid of it and slash the military budget. And it's like, why would you want to slash the American military budget? You know, I can see that you want to get rid of waste. That's a totally fine thing. If there's waste in the American military, just like any other government program, it's bloated, get rid of it. I totally agree. But you get rid of the American military, you make it way smaller. Who's going to do all the work in the world? Who's going to do all of the amazing things that the American military does? I mean, the American military, we have the biggest military in the world here in America. Who would you want it to be? If you live in America, why would you want to defund the military that protects you? Why would you want there to be less of the things that protect you? Who would you want to have in charge or have the biggest military? Russia? China? Or you want these people to have a bigger military than us? Of course not. We need to keep our military large and strong so that we can defend against these things. And these other countries, you know, again, talking about the first point where it's we're talking about why America is great compared to these other countries, you know, a France or a UK or Japan, whatever it might be. It's like we're the ones who are protecting the free world, basically. America, you know, the greatest peacekeeping organization in the history of the world is the United States military. You know, these other countries are able to do what they do because of the United States military and our massive military budget. Imagine if, you know, the UK or France had to then defend for themselves or had to defend the entire world like America does. I mean, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. Okay, then we got the 1960s. We got the Vietnam War. We got the Civil Rights Movement. Big deals. Outlawed discrimination and segregation and gave people the right to vote no matter what, which is a great thing. So that's what I'm saying, you know, in just like 70 years since Plessy versus Ferguson to the 1960s, the Civil Rights Movement happens. Think about how much progress happened in that time. Of course, there was still racism and bad things happening then, but, I mean, the progress happened. And America was becoming a way better place. And it's not like in the 1960s when African Americans in this country were protesting for their rights. It was just black people protesting. There were tons of white protesters there too, on the front lines fighting for racial justice for people, you know? So it was tons of people in America working together to make this all happen, to make this all work. So yeah, we've come a long way, and we still have, since then have come even farther. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. Freedom, baby. America. 1996, Will Witt is born. That is the most important day in U.S. history. 2008 recession, or 9/11 happened in 2001, 2008 recession, and then today we have the COVID and George Floyd protests. And that is the history of America. Taylor, how was that? Did you learn something?
I learned way more than Paul in the YouTube comments, who's been spamming.
Paul, what are you saying? People ask me.
He said he likes PragerU, but not Will Witt.
Paul, you don't like Will Witt? That's okay. Listen, you can't get all of them, okay? Paul, you are my War of 1812, a war that I cannot win. You can't get them all, okay? That's just how it goes. It's fine.
And now he learned something.
And now you learned something, Paul. And now you learned something. But thank you for sticking around and watching anyway. So, but I hope you guys, I know that was kind of a different thing to do with, what's it called? Just going through American history. But I wanted to go through that. You know, I think it's important that people just understand. It's like a quick refresher course. Because I was looking through these things and gathering this information. And I didn't remember like a ton of this stuff too. You know, and had to go through and get the info that I actually needed. So I think it's a really important thing, especially as the 4th of July comes up. We need to remember why we actually celebrate, why this country is great, so that when people come up to you and say, or they're, you know, not wearing red, white, and blue because they hate this country on the 4th of July, you have the right tools to say, no, America is the greatest country to ever exist, and here's why. That's the point. I want you guys to be prepared. I want you to be prepared. All right, can we look at some Ken and Karen memes now? I want to look at these because these are my favorite things in the whole world. Let's go through some of these. Did you guys see Ken and Karen? Ken and Karen, that's not their real names, but they were basically two people, some, I believe, protesters, right? Some protesters came and were on their property, and they came out, and now they're a big meme. So let's look at some of the memes. All right, this isn't going to pull up. For all you people who are listening to this later, you are going to have to just deal with it. You're going to have to just, I'll read them off to you. It says, he just wanted to grill, now he just wants to kill. Suburban Commando. This was my favorite one. This one was my favorite one. It's like all of them. There's the one that's an actual movie poster here. Yeah, I love this. I'll make this bigger for you guys. But I really love this. Ken and Karen are such cool people. Actually, I don't know. Have they done like any interviews or anything? Have you seen anything?
I actually haven't.
You haven't seen anything? I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's actually true, but that Ken and Karen are actually Democrats. I heard something about it online, but I didn't know if it was actually true. Maybe it is true. But regardless, I love Ken and Karen. I don't care about your politics. You did something cool and brave, and we love you. And look at what my hair looks like now. Wow, that's odd. But yeah, Ken and Karen are...
Someone paid $2 in the super chat for a hair flip, so I guess they just got it.
Oh, you did? Here. Maybe I'll put my hat on. Guys, I'm growing my hair out, and it's really annoying. It's really frustrating and annoying.
On Hannity last night, someone said.
Ken and Karen were on Hannity last night? Pull up the clip. I want to watch Ken and Karen on Hannity. That sounds wonderful. Let's see. Okay, and I also have this video here that I hope you guys saw. It went viral on Twitter of an old man that he didn't know that he was being filmed. I love that. I think that's the greatest video ever. Now, I hope that it's not fake or something and they really didn't, you know, just make that up or something. But it's still, that's such a heartwarming thing. That's a heartwarming video of this old man saluting the flag. Young people just have no respect for this country nowadays. And that's sad. That's a sad thing. Did you find it?
Oh.
No? Oh, I didn't know if you were looking for it. Okay, I want to go through some of your guys' questions today, and go through. So you guys remember, if you want to drop a question down below, you can, and I will be answering as many as I can, especially if you could leave a super chat on YouTube. I will try and answer those questions, even if they're dangerous questions. So, Taylor, dangerous questions are allowed. Okay, I wish that I could read the comments while I do the live, but alas, I can't do that. So Taylor has to be my eyes and ears for that. But I want to go through some of your guys' questions. And remember, my social media is at the Will Witt. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. You guys can follow me on all of those. You can also go follow PragerU on all of those at PragerU. I'm also on Parler now. Actually, we can talk about Parler for a sec. I've been on Parler, and it seems to be pretty cool so far. I haven't put too much on there. I'm going to start putting some more things on there, putting some more things on TikTok as well. And it's cool. I was in touch with the chief marketing officer of Parler the other day and some other people working on it. I'm really happy that they're making something very open to free speech. So I just hope that it doesn't become a conservative echo chamber. But as long as it doesn't do that, I'm really impressed by it. So, and I already have 13,000 followers, and I'm verified, so that's cool. You guys should go follow me on Parler too, at the Will Witt. All my social media is at the Will Witt. Okay, let's go through some of these questions. Super Saiyan Jim said, "What's your Cash App, Will?" I don't have a Cash App, but if you go to PragerU.com/donate and donate to PragerU, that is essentially my Cash App, because a portion of that goes to my salary. So if you want to support us that way, you can definitely do that. Leah said, "Will you be the Ken to my Karen?" Of course. Yes. What a wonderful thing. How could I not? Joseph said, "What do you think of CHOP being shut down?" It's about time. Chaz got shut down. I still call it Chaz. I don't like CHOP. I'm not using their fake name that they made up. Chaz is the real name. It's about time that someone actually did something about it. That was going on for, weeks? I talked about Chaz in episode 2 of my podcast. That was 3 weeks ago. And it took them that long to do something. People died there. There were rapes. And now they're going to do something about it, and it finally gets shut down? What the hell is the Seattle government actually doing? That was a really insane thing that people were allowed to get away with that and just live. So yeah, I'm glad that the autonomous zone is no longer there, but I wonder if they're going to pop another one up. These state governments and local governments are so weak, they have no backbone, that they let these people take over their cities, take over their communities, and they do nothing about it. It's like they don't even care about the people who live in these places. It's really sad. Will, this is from Ben. Thank you, Ben. Will, can you give your quick response to people who think America is defined by slavery/past sins? This goes into you can even look at just individual people. Do you think individual people are defined by their past sins always? Of course, people make mistakes and they should be held accountable. But just because they made a past mistake doesn't mean that defines their future. America is the best place in the world if you are a minority to live. There is nowhere better in the world to live than if you are a minority than in America. You have all the freedoms just like everybody else does. Same freedoms that I have as a straight white male, you have as a black, lesbian, female, transgender, whatever else that you are. You have just as many freedoms as I do. You find a law, you find something that shows that you don't. It's just not there. And it's funny because we were talking. I went out on the streets last week, and I'm talking to these young black kids about police brutality and stuff, trying to film a man on the street video. And I asked them, and I said, how many unarmed black men were killed by police last year? And they said, I don't know, 1,500. And I said it was actually 9. And they're like, what? No way. And I bring this up to say, like the information that these people are getting about that America was this racist country, or that America is still so racist, it's just not true. It's just not true. A police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed in the line of duty than an unarmed black man is to be killed by a police officer. America is not the racist place that people want to make it out to be, despite having things in our past that obviously we want to say that sucks and it wasn't very good of us to do. Okay, slavery is obviously a horrible thing. Jim Crow is a horrible thing. But those things aren't happening now, and the effects are not being seen today, in my opinion. Aaron said, Will, are you going to be leaving the state of Cali in the future? We're actually talking about this today. Because of the new lockdown, because of coronavirus. I was thinking of I work for PragerU and we're all here in California, but and I love this state. I love so many things about California, but Florida, little Miami Beach, sounds pretty nice. right about now. Maybe Hawaii, maybe Maine. Those are the places I would go. Everyone wants to move to Texas. I get why you want to move to Texas, but it's so flat. I don't want to live somewhere flat and where there's no beach. That's just not fun for me. I would not like that. Cassie with the $5 super chat. Are we in a cold civil war? I kind of answered this a little while ago when I said that we're not going to be in a real civil war. A cold civil war? I would say so. A little bit, but it's, again, it's all talk. All these people on social media, it's all talk when it comes to actually, putting your cards on the table and doing something about it. People don't do anything about it. People aren't going to go kill people in the streets because you're a Republican or because you are a Democrat. Like, that's just not going to happen. So, excuse me. Yeah, there's a war for ideas going on right now in America, but it's not going to elevate to the place that some people think that it will elevate to. I don't think so. Okay, let's get some more questions. Victoria said, what do you think the left gains from trying to destroy this country? Hello from Texas. Sorry I just badmouthed your state by saying it was flat, but it is flat, and I'm not a huge fan of flat. But I think the left gains power. I mean, of course, think about someone like Al Sharpton, who has been in the, I guess we could say, diversity movement, or what, I don't know what you would even say, the victimhood movement, for a very long time, trying to convince young African Americans that America is this horrible racist place. Imagine if you were to say, no, America's fine now, and you don't have to do these protests, and there isn't all this injustice. Like, he wouldn't have a job. It's all for power. It's for power for people, and there are conservatives too who do things for power as well. It's human nature. I mean, the power corrupts people. You get them in a position where they have influence over other people, or they have a platform, like, you're bound to get corruption. You're bound to get corruption there, and this happens on both sides. But the left, that's their master plan. They want the power over us. I mean, that's this right here. What do you think? What do you think? Isabel said, hey, Will, I'm a 14-year-old Brazilian. You have helped and taught me a lot. It's shocking to see how the left brainwashing young people is something that also happens here. Thank you, Isabel. I really appreciate that. To have a 14-year-old fan in Brazil, that's so cool. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Isabel, and stay strong out there. Roland said, to fire governor, get a haircut. I'm not getting a haircut. We're letting the hair grow until I look like John B. from Outer Banks. So, Zenron said, so if the lockdown continues here in Cali, can I skip school when it starts back up? Yes. I'm not your mom, so I can't tell you for certain.
You have Will Witt's permission.
Yeah, you have Will Witt's permission. I'll write you a note. It's going to be like a doctor's note from Will Witt.
He has stationery here, so.
Yeah, I'll send you a letter. It said, no school today, from Will. Carrie said, hi, from Idaho, Will. My question today is about hope. What hope do you have for this world? Wow, Carrie. That's strong. I don't know. I guess I haven't thought about it. I'm trying to understand what the question means. What hope do you have for this world?
Maybe like coming out of all the crazy, tensions we have right now.
Yeah. I guess that's fair. Are we
going to make it out?
Oh, of course we're going to make it. Everyone's going to be fine. Everyone's freaking out like we're not going to be fine. Of course there are bad things happening, but we are going to be fine. I promise you. We're all going to get out of this fine. But the best thing is, like, I know a lot of people were having mental problems during the lockdown and stuff, and we're lonely and we're suffering in that way. But I actually had a great lockdown. Like, in the sense of in the sense of connecting with my friends, people close to me, family. Like I had a great lockdown in the sense that brought me closer together to the people I loved. I got to experience a lot more stuff with people who I truly care about. So I do see hope in that way. And I think that because of the lockdown and all that people really started to come together and realized how important their family is again. At least I hope so. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. So I have hope for American families and the future of the nuclear family here in America. Rye Guy 78 said, bro, my friends have been posting stuff saying don't buy anything on the 4th of July just because Black Lives Matter. It makes no sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you not buy something on the 4th of July? You got to go buy that pack of White Claws to bring to the barbecue, okay? You got to buy something on the 4th of July. They did the same thing. The Black Lives Matter posted that on July 7th. They're going to not, they said, black people don't buy anything on July 7th because if we do, we're going to cripple the economy. Or if we don't, we're going to cripple the economy, and that's going to really stick it to the man. That's going to stick it to the man that we don't, we're not buying things for a day. And then everyone's going to be upset that black people aren't buying things for a day. It makes absolutely no sense. It's like, even if you were going to do that, why don't you go at least support black-owned businesses and only buy stuff from them? Like, do something that actually, is for the black lives that that are supposed to matter. But they're just saying, no, we're not going to buy anything. It does stuff like so much of their logic just defies reality. Glenn said, is this Candace's husband? No. No, I am not Candace's husband. No. I am not. That's George. George is Candace's husband. He's a great guy. I really like George. Serena Wong said, I'm from Hong Kong. That rhymed. Wong and Kong. What can we as an America do to help our government besides voting? Seems like there are Democrats on social media. I'm not sure if I understand your question, Serena Wong. Maybe it's a language barrier thing since you're from Hong Kong, and I am from Colorado. But there are Democrats on social media for sure. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the best that I can with understanding. But it's super cool that I think when you say you're from Hong Kong, it means you're inside America now. But yeah, what you have to do is stand up for what you believe in all the time. I mean, the protesters in Hong Kong were doing an amazing thing, standing up for what they believe. And I just saw the Chinese government putting new restrictions on protesting. But anyway, yeah, you have to stand up for what you believe in on social media. Yes, there are people on the left who will disagree with you on so many things on social media. Don't let them tower over you. Don't let them shame you for your beliefs. Get on there and say what you actually believe and make the changes. Sorry again for butchering your name, Serena Wong. I'm sorry. Puppet Master gave $10. Thank you. Will, what do you think about boycotting social media on Saturday for one or more days to protest denying free speech? These kind of things, there's 100 million conservatives in America right now, maybe more or less. Are all these people going to boycott social media? And then if people are boycotting social media, how do you know who's boycotting social media or not? Because you're not on social media. So I don't know. I've never been a real big person to do boycott stuff like that. I still wear Nike and things like that despite, Colin Kaepernick and things like that. So I've never been a huge boycott person. But if you want to boycott it, go ahead.
Also, Will needs to post on social media for your affirmation. So just to be able to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. We had a meeting yesterday about social media that I need to post more on social media. I'm not posting enough. So if you guys are on my social media on Instagram, go tag me and say, remember to post today, Will. I really appreciate it. Jessica Foreman said, White Claw? You don't know what White Claw is? White Claw is the best drink in the whole world. It's a sparkling, it's like seltzer, it's like hard seltzer basically. It's very good. The watermelon is my favorite flavor. The Gemini guy, $12. Thank you. Said, happy 4th of July to my fellow Americans. Love the channel. Thanks from Clearwater, Florida. Thank you, Gemini guy. I really appreciate that. Hannah Flat said, Will, what do you think about white privilege? A lot of people I know think it's real. White privilege is just racism. People who say that you have white privilege are just being racist. It's reverse racism, basically at its finest, okay? I know, when I went to school, I went to a very diverse high school with lots of black kids and Mexican kids, and I knew some black kids who were very well off. They came from really good families. Both of the parents were together. They had a lot of money. They had, tons of friends, Is that black privilege that they had that? And then you have these white kids at the same school who had horrible circumstances where, their parents aren't together, or they were very poor, whatever it may be. Is that still white privilege? Your skin color does not determine the amount of privilege that you have in this country, okay? You make your own choices. If you are a white person and you make bad choices in your life, there's nothing white privilege about that. You just made bad choices. Or if you're a black person, you made bad choices in your life, and then, you don't do well in life, you can't say then, oh, well, they have white privilege, and now, I can't make anything of myself. It's like, no, you made bad decisions. Just like the white person that made bad decisions. They also did that. Everyone is in control of their life in America. That if you want to have a good life, you can, for the most part, of course there are horrible circumstances, but for the most part, you can make yourself have an amazing life. It's the exact same thing with black people, white people. Doesn't matter where you are. White privilege is not real. People have the exact same advantages in America as everyone else. Thank you, Hannah, for the question. Excuse me. Okay. Liz, this is going to be the last one we do. For $20, $19.99, said, views on laws based on morals. Do you think laws force religion on other people? Hello from the conservative in Manhattan, New York City. Oh, Manhattan. Thank you, Liz. I love New York. I want to go back soon, but haven't been able to go because of the virus and everything. You have to take it from the sense, okay, if we're defining morals as from God, okay, and that's really where it goes, where the left and a lot of people, atheist people, if you're atheist, whatever, that's fine. But I'm saying a lot of people will say that, morality is subjective and that your morality might be different than my morality. So then how can you make a law based on morality if you and I both disagree on certain things? Then I can say, I think murder's great. People should be able to murder people. That's my morality, and someone else says, no, murder's wrong. How do you, in a strong country or in a unified country, you can't have a country that's together like that. So when we're talking about morals, and we're talking about especially, the morals in America, again, talking about the Constitution, talking about the Declaration of Independence, unalienable rights by our Creator. That's what the Founding Fathers made this country based on, secular values. Even though there's a separation of church and state, it's still secular values. And it's like, okay, that means that the morals that we are making our laws from are derived from God. Our morals are derived from God because the government, or the Founding Fathers, knew that you don't get your rights from the government, you don't get your morals from the government, you get your morals and you get your rights from God. The Founding Fathers knew this. That's why they made this country the way that it is, so that when you are creating laws that deal with morality, they have to be morality that is essentially morality from a higher place. So that's my answer to that. I appreciate your question, Liz. And thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, you can go on Apple Podcasts and rate this 5 stars. Leave me a rave review. Leave a review about Taylor and how great he does on all the stuff he's doing. Follow me on social media. Follow PragerU. Share this video with your friends. And that's about it. Taylor, any closing thoughts?
Go retweet our tweet so that the New York Times has to respond.
Yeah, let's make the New York Times respond. Go retweet our tweet. We really appreciate it. And next week, we got a really good episode for you guys. We're actually hoping to do calls on stream, so you guys can call in to my phone, *69 or *67, obviously, so I don't give you my number. And I'll be answering some of you guys' calls live on stream. So if you're someone maybe on the left who disagrees, and you finally want to get that, that sweet moment of talking to a conservative influencer, then call in. It'll be a lot of fun.
Paul from YouTube, please call.
Paul from YouTube. Paul! This is for you, Paul. Okay? Please call in. We appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week, 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. Eastern.